This is part 2 of What If Naruto Had Haki. I left off when Naruto said, "So guys, you want to do this mission? C rank mission. Take down Bandit Syndicate to the west of the village." Shikamaru, Choji, and Kiba all signed it. Naruto then turned it back into the Hokage, and the Hokage said, "Okay." And the Hokage said, "Okay, Naruto. Well, I hope you are okay." It says, "I hope you guys come back okay." Naruto nods his head and says, "Okay." Naruto nods his head and says, don't worry, old man. I'll make sure my squad doesn't die." The Hokage then nods his head and says, "Okay." Naruto then says, then regroups with his team and says, "We have 1 week. We have 1 week until we leave. In this 1 week, I will train you to the utmost. Every day, we will have hour-long sparring. We will have hour-long sparring matches that have 5-minute breaks back into another hour-long sparring session. We will have this going for the rest of the week. Understood?" Everyone, they all like, except the all Choji and like Shikamaru just look so like they look like they're in despair. They're just in pure despair. And Kiba says, "Okay, let's go, Naruto." Now we go. Now we skip to the first 5-minute break. Naruto pulls out of his satchel four gourds of sake. Shikamaru says, "Aren't we a little too young to be drinking?" Naruto then just says, "It's fine. I bought them from the store. They didn't question me." Naruto and Sasuke at this point are about 7 foot tall, and they look like 25-year-old men. And then Shikamaru just says, Shikamaru pops the cap on his gourd and then drinks some. Yeah, and then they drink their gourd for a couple minutes, and they get back to their thing. Now we skip to the week. The people that are Sasuke is seeing off Naruto. Sasuke is seeing off Naruto, and all the rest of their friends are seeing off Naruto. And then a special girl comes up to Naruto and she says, "Naruto-kun, make sure you come back safe." Naruto turns around and says, "Okay, Naruto, I'll be back. I'll be back safe. Don't you worry about me." Naruto then comes up and says, "Can I give you a hug?" Naruto's face. He blushes and says, Sure." Hinata gives Naruto a hug, and it's relatively weird to see because at this point Hinata's only like 5 foot, and Naruto's 7 foot, like 7'3". So it just looks like he's like it. It literally just looks like Hinata's hugging the bottom part of his torso. Not like that, okay? It's like the cutoff area between. It's like the top of the belly button, okay? They're still the same age. Like Naruto's 14. Naruto then just picks up Hinata and gives her a hug, and then sets her down, and then they set off. Now, in this, I'm going to say that if you that whenever you master Haki, it increases your growth, and it's actually already started for it actually started for Naruto. It started for Shikamaru, Choji, and Kiba. They've already grown to about 5'10". They're Kiba's around 6 foot, Shikamaru is around 5'9", and Choji is about 5'10". They're all relatively tall. They're all already starting to get taller. Now it's gonna take about a week to get there. Whenever they get there, they don't see a syndicate. They see they see a town that's almost as big as that's relatively big. It's about half the size of the village. Now we go into the Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Choji walk in. Or they try to walk in. They're stopped by two people. People say, "Hey, what do you guys want?" Naruto says, is this the town of the out? Is this the residence of the Kinton Syndicate?" They say, the guards say, "Yeah, it is. Why? Trying to join?" Naruto then nods his head and says, "Yeah, we're here to join." And says, the guy says, "Alright, what's your names?" Naruto says, my name is Cousin. My name is Cousin." Then Shikamaru says, what a drag. My name is Kai. My name is Kai." Shoji says, My name is Koi." And then Kiba says, "My name is Kiba." Everyone just face palms at what Kiba just did, and then they are seen to their room. Naruto first off slaps Kiba across the face, hits Kiba really hard over the head and says, "You fucking dumbass! We were supposed to use fake names." Kiba shakes his head and says, "No, if I'm gonna take down the syndicate, I'm taking it down with my own name." Naruto then just shakes his head and says, "All right. Well, we're gonna this is gonna be a relatively long mission, a couple months at least. In that time, we're going to at least try to train. We're going to at least try to train ourselves. Understood?" And he says, "Remember your code names. I'm Kaizu. You're Kaya. You're Koei." And then he says you're Kaya to Shikamaru and you're Koei to Choji. He says, "You're Kiba. Sure." Then they start training their Haki for a little bit. Then a guy wanders in. Looks around the age of 15, relatively built. Says, you guys look tough." They start training. They start training. They train for about a couple hours, and they head back into the town. They brought a couple 100,000 Rio with them to if they needed money, but it seems they got free lodging. But it seems instead of free, instead of paying money for for actual housing, they have to go on syndicate. They have to go on missions for the syndicate, and they are the actual the village has because the village got this mission from people that were being attacked by the syndicate. The syndicate does not go near or try to attack the actual Leaf Village. So the Leaf Village has given their team clearance to do any missions that the syndicate gives them. So they start going, and then they see through the trees a giant dome. It looks relatively big, probably about seven. It looks relatively big, almost as big as the tuning exams finals dome. They go into the actual tuning. They go near it, and then as soon as they're about to enter it, they're stopped and says, "Oi, what's your names?" And it says, I'm Kaizu. These are my friends Kaya, Koe, and Kiba." I just realized all their names start with K. Fuck it. Says then like Sarah says, "Oh, you guys were just added. It seems you guys were just added." This then Naruto asks, "So what is this place?" says this is the Syndicate Dome, and here you get and here uh, this is technically where you bet on fights. This is a betting place, but it's not the legal betting, even though nobles from all around come here and bet on fights. Currently, there's 3 nobles already in there, and some more are going to be coming anyways. The person that's betted on, gets about 10% of the actual bet and 10% of the profits. Naruto nods and says, "Okay." Then says, "The higher you rank, also you get more. The higher you rank in the dome, you get some perks. But this rank does not equate to your syndicate rank. You still have to do syndicate missions to raise your rank." Naruto nods his head. Naruto and everyone else nods their head. Naruto then says, "Oh wait, could we sign up?" Uh, the guy then says, "Yeah, sure." He signs them up, and then they're in it. They have hourly battles. They have battles every hour on the dot. Every hour on the dot. Each battle lasting about 30 minutes, giving a 30-minute downtime. And this is going all around the clock, 24 hours a day. The first battle was the battle after the current one that was happening was actually one with Shikamaru. It was a relatively interesting. It was against a girl that looked around the age of 13, and she used these weird bear claws. She used these weird bear claw weapons, sort of like how Blackbeard's weapons were. So she jumps forward and added chakra to her claws and started slicing. Shikamaru having relatively good observation Haki, he was easily evading each slash. He was really just trying to get her. He was really just trying to wear her out or get her into a position where he could do something. He got her into a position where she's right in front of him. She's right in front of him. The actual sun. The sun was making it possible for her shadow to go towards him. So he uses his shadow to instantly lock into hers. No, so yeah. He gets in his position, and then he acts like he's about to get defeated. But then he activates his armored Haki. He he dodges her slash attack, and then boom, he blasts like the foot of his boot, the foot of his ninja sandal, just like the toe of it, just blindsides this girl in the fucking face. Not the toe. Think about how Naruto kicked away the truth-seeking orb. Just think about that, but onto like someone's face. Like the entire top of Shikamaru's foot just took the shape of this girl's face, and he roundhoused this girl into the other side of the arena, creating a dent for her. The match only lasted a couple minutes. Like it lasted around 10 minutes. It was actually a really funny match because no one really betted. There's only like 3 or 4 people that betted on Shikamaru, and the actual profits that they made, the actual profits that the syndicate made was around 400, was around about 12 million, and the actual bets were around 6 million. So Shikamaru took home he took home 10% of each of those. So 1/10. So he took home about 1.8 million Rio. And then like it was actually a really interesting coincidence for each of since the way that they signed in, each of them had matches back to back. Next was Kiba's. Kiba didn't want to use Conqueror's Haki to like just snuff out the guy. He wanted to use his armament and observation to have like a good match. So more people betted on Kiba as he looked stronger. By the way, um, uh, Akamaru Akamaru can use Haki because we know that any living being can use Haki. Akamaru can't use Conqueror's Haki, but he can use armament and observation Haki. So the guy that Kiba fights, he looks like he's around the age of 19 to 20 years old, and he looks relatively strong. As soon as the fight starts, the guy rushes at Kiba, and Kiba uses observation Haki, but even that is sort of like he can definitely keep track of the guy, but it's too relatively he like barely dodges one of the attacks. Like he's barely dodging all the attacks that are coming his way. Kiba is getting like really pumped up. So he armored Haki's up his fist and just goes and then starts going ham with each attack. The guy's actually keeping up relatively good, but Kiba can feel himself evolving. Akamaru jumps out of his hoodie, and he jumps out of his hoodie and jumps out of his hoodie onto his head, jumps out of his hoodie onto Kiba's head, and jumps over and uses armored Haki to pound the guy back a couple feet. He then jumps back into Kiba's hoodie, and then Kiba blitzes forward. He does a flip up, and he starts pounding the guy's chest with his feet. He then does a double foot stomp and flips backwards. The guy is like really beaten up, but he's still on his leg. He's still able to fight. The guy jumps forward and goes in for a. It looks like he's using some sort of concealed blade to Kiba. He sees a concealed blade, and he dodges this. He jumps up and does a spin. He does a imagine Genos, like how Genos did that spinning kick. He did that kick powered by Haki. He hits him, and he hits him, and he like and a weird feeling happens inside of Kiba. It felt like something was coming out of his leg. The kick the kick knocked the guy head first into a wall, sitting him like 10 inches deep into the wall. Kiba went over to the guy and checked his sleeve, and he noticed that the blade had poison in it. He took the blade was actually really interesting. It looked like the blade was really interesting. It was a sort of it was a it was literally just it was just a modified version of one of Minato's harpoon kunai. Obviously, it wasn't actually one of his harpoon kunai. It was just like a special It was just a special variation. He took the kunai and then left. Next was Choji's, and Choji was ready to Choji was ready. Choji just the guy that Choji fought. He looked actually younger than Choji. Looked around. He looked around age. He looked around age 11. The kid blitzed. The kid like jumped forward at actually incredible speeds. Even Choji's observation Haki could barely keep up. Like it was a blur, but he could keep up, but it was very blurry. He dodged a kick, but the kid spun around and did another kick, and like hit the back of Choji's head, and sent him tumbling forward. This kept happening a couple times until Choji just like had enough. Like he felt himself getting better with the observation Haki, as he could definitely keep up with the kid. He activated his armored Haki. He got hit one more time, and then at that the next hit, he caught the kid's leg. Threw him in the air. It jumped up, caught him with his right arm, and he like whipped the kid. He like whipped the kid down into the. He like whipped the kid back first into the ground. He landed above the kid, not on the kid, but above him. He then picked him up by the head, threw him into the air, jumped up, grabbed both of his legs, landed on the ground, and with that momentum, he like printed he literally printed the kid's act. He printed the kid's like entire face structure into the ground. He was obviously he was obviously put as the winner of that one, and then was on to Naruto. Naruto was up against this 30, this like 29 to 32-year-old looking guy. He was really strong. He looked really strong. They betted on Naruto. It was about a 50-50 split for the odds. But the odds were actually in that guy's favor. So Naruto, the guy blitzed forward, and Naruto wanted to end this really quickly with the arm Haki kick to the face, which he tried. But the guy also could use Haki. The guy grabbed his foot and threw him into the wall. He got out and said, "So you can use Haki as well." The guy nodded his head and said, "Yeah, I can see that. I can see that there are a couple other people that can use Haki in here as well. Are they with you?" Naruto says, "Maybe." He then blitzed forward and engaged in a pummel match of a pummel match, of arm and Haki. Naruto then asks, "Can you use Conqueror's Haki?" The guy laughed and then blasted a wave of Conqueror's Haki towards Naruto. Naruto was actually surprised as this was really powerful. This was really powerful was on the level of his and a little bit higher even, maybe even a little bit higher than his. He was able to fight it back, but he was like, "Damn, you're powerful, man." Naruto then used Ryuo and said, "Can you use this?" The man blitzed forward, and Naruto and him locked attacks, and like the actual skies, like it literally felt. For everyone in the arena, it felt like a wave of radiation just went off. Like it felt like a bomb went off. Everyone was getting really excited. So this guy, he went in. This guy went to kick Naruto in the head. He blocked it with his arm, and then he went in for a punch. The guy blocked it with. Then the guy intercepted with his punch. Naruto then used the arm that he punched with to use like a shield push, to use like a shield bash push to get the guy off. He then jumped up, and then he used some sort of ability that let him like sort of punch off the air and kick down on the guy. The guy caught his foot and says, "It seems you can use Rokushiki as well." Now, I know this is what if Naruto could use Haki, but Rokushiki, technically Rokushiki could exist anywhere. Rokushiki could exist anywhere because it's literally just martial arts. So shut up. Naruto didn't know how this happened, but as the guy caught his leg and threw him into the wall, he remembers when he was around the age of not when he was around the age of 8, and Naruto and he was sparring with Sasuke. Sasuke grabbed his arm and threw him up into the air, and he used some sort of similar technique to like propel himself into the air. Naruto got out the wall and blitzed at the guy and said, "Hey, what's your name?" He says, "Name's Taifei." Yeah, he says, "Name's Taifei." Says, "I don't really want to." He then says, "I don't want to be your enemy. I can tell you're pretty strong, kid." Naruto the nonsense is same for you. Look like you could teach me something. Taifei then nods his head and says, I could. And like faster than even Naruto's like future sight could see. He got side I don't know that. I'm sorry about that. That was my echo. He got sideswiped by Taifei's kicks. He got sideswiped by one of Taifei's kicks right to the face, and he got sent flying into the wall. He stopped himself before he could before his head could hit the wall. But he looked very surprised at this. Like he then turned around and says, "You surpassed my future sight." Taifei says, "You see, future sight. It really only affects what you want it to affect." And what I mean by that is, you were so focused on you were so focused on me. You never thought, like, you were so focused on you were so focused on my arms and my upper torso that you never thought I would use that you never tried that you never thought that you didn't think that I was going to use my feet again, that I was going to use my feet again. Naruto then nods and says, interesting. Naruto then blitzes forward and uses a Conqueror's Haki Ryuo infused chakra fist, and and collides with Taifei. Taifei gets pushed back a lot. It says, "You're good, kid." Taifei then pushes back, but Naruto just keeps going, pumping more and more chakra, and his arm is now going red. Is going going reddish oranges with QB chakra, and he's hearing the QB and says, "Naruto, use Naruto. I'm giving you more." And then he punches back Taifei, and then Taifei gets blasted through the side of the arena wall. The QB chakra goes back into Naruto, and Kurama says, "Nice one." Naruto then nods his head and says, "Thanks for that." As for Kurama, he knows that his host is very strong, and if given the chance, there's a high possibility that he could even make Kurama submit. So Kurama just helps out Naruto when he can. So yeah, and then they go for about a month over the time Naruto was training. About 2 hours after all their fights, they're back at the dorm. And then Taifei finds them and says, "Hi, name's Taifei." Like he goes in, Naruto says, "You." He says, it's you." He says, "Yeah, I don't." He goes, "Yeah, it's me." So everyone else is like, "Who are you?" Like they're like, "Oh, it's that guy from the arena." I'm like, what's your name?" He says, "My name's Taifei. I can also use Haki like all of you." He then uses arm and Haki on his fist. Taifei then says, "I also can use something called Rokushiki." He then uses uh, he then uses the sidestep technique. The sidestep technique. He then uses the sidestep technique, and also he uses sidestep technique, and he says, "I can teach you guys a lot." So for the next couple of months, for the next month and a half, he Taifei starts teaching Naruto, Shikamaru, Kiba, Choji about Rokushiki, and about Rokushiki and about Haki. At this point, Shikamaru and Choji are relatively good. They're relatively good at both armament, and observation. They haven't mastered. Either of them yet. Like they haven't mastered either of them yet. But they're definitely doing good. Like they're definitely doing really good. Shikamaru's showing some signs of future sight, and Shoji's showing some signs of Riwo. And also Rokushiki. Naruto's mastered 2 Rokushiki techniques. Sorry about that. I was looking up the Rokushiki techniques. Now, he actually Taifei, he wrote down the ways of training the Rokushiki techniques. So he wrote down how to train Geppo, Teikai, Rankyaku, Soru, Shigan, and Kamiye, and also Rokuogan, and also the Rokuogan. So Naruto, both Choji and Shikamaru, they've gotten down Geppo a little bit. Like they can sort of do Geppo, but it's not that good. But with Kiba and Naruto's gotten a good grip on Geppo and Ron Kyaku, or Geppo is the one where you kick off the air and you fly up, and then Ron Kyaku is the one where they send out like the attacks with their feet, like the energy, like the slices with their feet, and uh, with Kiba, he's gotten a good grip on Shigan, the finger pistol, and Soru, which is like flash step. Just think of flash step. It's called shave. Yeah, that's yeah. That's so yeah. Uh, yeah, he so Naruto's gotten a good grip on Geppo and Ron Kyaku, and Kiba's got a good grip on Shigan and Soru. Now we fast forward about 3 months. Naruto in this crew has been training very, very hard in the dome and also on their Rokushiki techniques. Naruto at this point has pretty much mastered Geppo, and has pretty much mastered Geppo, and has also run to the realms of the other Rokushiki techniques. He's pretty much mastered Geppo. He has a really, really, really good handle on Rankyaku, and has a relatively good understanding of Shigan. Has a relatively good understanding of the Shigan technique. He's currently practicing sword. He's currently training in Soru and Tekai and Tekai. So Naruto can use Geppo, which if you can't remember, which is the one where like they kick off the air and they go flying, and then Rankyaku, which is the one where they shoot powerful bursts out of their feet as like slicing attacks, and then Shigan is finger pistol. So he has a good grip on those three, and currently he's currently training with Soru, which is the flash step, which is like the flash step attack, the flash step, and Tekai, which is the ability to make your body as hard as iron, like as hard as steel. Now, Kiba has almost mastered Shigan, has almost mastered Shigan and Soru, and his Haki has been coming along as well. It's actually gotten really, really good. He's almost mastered Shigan and Soru, and his Ron Kyaku is really good as well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's been learning his Ron Kyaku. Teikai. Yeah, he's been now for Choji and Shikamaru. They've gotten really good grips on Geppo, but the other ones have been kind of elusive to them. Now at this point they're relatively high up in the syndicate, as they've been doing really, really dumb jobs. But they got called in one day, and one of the high-ranking syndicate members said, "Here, this is your job." He handed him a scroll, and inside the scroll it said, destroy this town. The town was relatively like it was a rel it like it's gave the details of the town as it's relatively good town. But like Naruto, Shikamaru, Kiba, and Choji were like, we're technically pardoned for this, so we're just gonna do it. So they go into the town. They go into the town, and Naruto then just like they go into the town. They get a broom, and Naruto just said, "All right, we're gonna start doing this we're gonna do this at 8 p.m." They wait until and then they wait in at 8 p.m. They wait till 8 p.m. and then they go out. Now, within about 2 hours, the entire place is in just rubble. It's just in pure, just unadulterated rubble. All the people are dead. Like all the people are dead. They either got taken out by like a Shigan, but they got taken out by like armament Haki blast to their face, Shigan or Rankyaku, or they got just pounded on by like someone, or like Naruto or like Kiba just did. So on one of the Kiba over the 2 months came up with a special attack. So it is his Fang over Fang. It's his Fang over Fang, but he uses Tekai to make his body a steel. He did that to a couple of people. They went back to the like syndicate, and they got promoted to a relatively high position. They're at the point where they can meet with the boss pretty freely. So they meet with the boss one day, and then the boss says, I have a mission for you." Naruto gets the mission, and then within that brief moment, he armament hockeys up his finger and uses Shigan to blitz. He uses a Shigan to kill blow pretty much blow the heart up of the boss. The boss was relatively weak. He just had connections. That's really all his power was. Naruto and his team at that point he was the like boss was dead, so they just took out the entire place. They were very, very low ranked. None of them could have really stood a chance against Shikamaru or even Choji, and Naruto and Kiba just ran through like almost everyone. The only one that gave any trouble was Taifei, but Taifei didn't really want to fight Naruto and his team, because they knew that he knew that he was gonna die, so he just left. They returned to the village. They returned to the village. Everyone welcomed them, and then at this point, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Choji, their body has matured to the point where Kiba is about 7'3". So Kiba's 7'3". Naruto. So Kiba is 7'3". Naruto is around 7'5". Shikamaru is about 6'3", and Choji is about 6'5". So they returned. Everyone welcomes them. They have about a couple days downtime. Then they get another mission. It's a rank mission. It's infiltrate and take down a infiltrate and take down an enemy daimyo's headquarters. Assassinate the daimyo and kill all people inside. That's where I will leave this off.